Ready or not, it's time to elevate.
Hi, welcome back to Elevating with Antoinette. I have a special guest here, my daughter, Rainy. She's going to help me co-host today. So, Rainy, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
I'm Rainy, said daughter. I am a college student. I also do a little bit of sports in college. So that's about all the information I can give out.
All right. And as usual, I always say my dog comes in. Today, you get to actually see a portion of him. So, he may be up and down, in and out, but that's neither here nor there. Today, we are going to get into elevating in the new year and what that looks like to us. There's also a cat down here, and I'm terrified. Terrified me. So, we're talking about elevating into the new year and what that looks like to us. I am not big on New Year's resolutions because I feel like resolutions are like, oh, I'm going to stop doing this, I'm going to stop doing that, and there's no plan for it. But we did do vision boards, and I feel like even though vision board and resolutions are very similar, with vision boards is a constant reminder that this is your goal, and usually there's like ways to get there. You can think of ways to get there. So, what do you? Oh gosh. What do you think, Morty? Just smack in the face. What do you think about like resolutions, vision boards, and going into the new year? How do you prepare to go into the new year?
I think I always just did like last year we did the picture frame with the pictures in it and stuff like that. I always did the picture boards to like go into the new year, like with ideas of what I want to do. But I feel like they were never really that helpful because either they didn't get hung up for that long or like my other one's in the trash at my
Man,
apartment.
what we did last year?
Yeah, like all I was like, dang, because it had pictures of me in it. I was like, dang, and it sat there for like a good 2 months because the trash people didn't want to take it, and all my pictures are in somebody's house now because someone took it.
Mm-hmm. I still have mine because I never thought to. I was going to clear it out at the end of the year and reuse it for this year, but this year we did a different vision board. So now mine is still upstairs. I didn't look at it much though, which I think is defeats the purpose. It's kind of like the same thing with the resolution. The resolution you just say, like this is what I'm gonna do, and there's no going back to it. With the vision board, you're supposed to hang it up and see it.
Visualize.
Yes. So
I think this year's we did was pretty good because we actually took time to write down everything.
and the one that we did this year. I am a fan because it's really colorful, and I like all the colors. But we got this from idea from someone on TikTok. Uh, I it's a thought process. Like before you even start, you have to think about what you want to write, think about your goals, think about your bad habits, all of that before you even start. So I think that's even better because usually we just get started with printing pictures or cutting out pictures or whatever. So um, yeah, so that's my thought on like resolutions versus vision boards. But I think the key is to actually put the vision board somewhere you're going to look at and come back to it um, and not throw it in the trash.
Mm-hmm. I think I just got overwhelmed by the thought of it. Oh, he's fine.
You were overwhelmed by the thought of you got overwhelmed by the thought of hanging it up.
Yeah, I feel like my goals always overwhelm me. To think about thinking.
So hanging it up didn't overwhelm you. the thought of your goals being in your face overwhelmed you?
Yes, I feel like I'm scared of like, but yeah, I feel like even when we did that, I was overwhelmed, like writing down my goals. I feel like I'm scared of putting up my goals and like having goals at all because if I don't accomplish them, then I'm gonna be sad.
Yeah, I think you get too hard on yourself.
I don't want to have an expectation. I don't want to give myself an expectation because it overwhelms me and it makes me anxious. Especially when other people know my expectation because I'm scared of other people seeing me fail and them knowing my expectation. Maybe that's what it is. That's probably why I didn't want it. Like the thought of hanging it up and someone else seeing it.
And then they'll be like, oh, how close are you to this or that?
Yeah, that's just like when people ask me like, oh, like what are your goals for this season? I don't want to tell them the time because if I don't hit that time, even when like other people ask, like my teammates ask, because I know a lot of my teammates are like faster than me. If they're like, oh, what's your goal for this season? And then my goal is like faster than their time. I mean slower than their time. It's embarrassing.
But I think that you have to remember, like, even with your sport, there are different levels. So if they are already running the time that you want to run, they want to be faster, and you're running your time, so you want to be faster. Like, I don't think that's anything to be embarrassed of. I would ask somebody that is running the time that you want to, like,
I think it's because I'm older now. So I'm supposed to be at a certain level like at my previous school, like I didn't have that feeling. I only like started having that feeling when I got
transferred.
when I transferred to a bigger school.
So, what do you think will help you get through that? Because this is your last year.
Getting over myself, I feel like I just need to get over myself, like, cause that's like a mental barrier because I'm scared of the feeling of embarrassment. Like I don't want to feel embarrassed or less than because I feel as if since I'm older and a lot of the kids that are coming in are younger, like even like the kids like not even in college yet are running college times. It's like I don't know. Which I feel like I don't want like them to not be doing that or nothing, but I feel like I should have been at a certain point now that I didn't get to because of my own mental.
Yeah, I think like you mentally set yourself back before you even begin. Like you will. I think I was telling like one of the boys this before. Like even when you're uh, before your race starts, you can tell if you're gonna go in and like give it everything or if you're already done. Like your body tells that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can see it. You can see it on your face. You can see it how you come out the blocks. You can see it like mentally you motivate yourself or you quit. And I think you've always done that.
I know I have. That's why whenever I say I get like really weak in the knees,
Mm-hmm.
but like before like no amount of warming up can like get that feeling out of my knees. Like my whole lower half of my body goes numb, and I can't even feel my legs in the blocks. And that's why like I'll be already mentally tore up before the race even start. Then my blocks be just awful trash, and then I'll be like trying to make up for like the last 150 of the race
Mm-hmm.
or 400.
And nothing has ever helped you.
The only thing that's ever like the only times that it hasn't been like that were for my biggest meets. That's why I feel like after I transferred, that's why I PR'd every single meet
Mm-hmm.
because I had no reason to be anxious. I mean, I didn't have no reason. I didn't have a reason to be overwhelmed because everybody is running the same time as me, so it's all equal footing. Either they're running the same time as me or they're faster.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, you have to put it all out there.
Yeah.
Like that's why I feel like like the last few years when I did Junior Olympics, I ran pretty like well compared to the previous years because that's when I realized like there's no point of being scared because everybody in this heat has the same time basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I feel like now it's better, but I still like get like that mentally, but I don't get as nervous. Like yeah, because I remember that first meet at Louisville last year. We ran against Texas. That was the first time I ever ran the 300, and I was in there's only three of us in the heat, and it was me and like two Olympians.
Yeah.
Not Olympians, but they weren't Olympians at the time, but they were the fastest.
They're like going pro or?
Yeah, they're pro now. Both of them are pro now.
Oh.
But yeah, that's how it was for also when we ran in Arkansas, and I had to run first leg. I was so mad. I had to run first leg for the relay against all pro athletes. I was like, this. I never had to do this. I never had to do this at my others like before I transferred.
Well, that's what you wanted though. When you transferred, you wanted bigger expectations. You wanted to push yourself. You wanted a different style of coaching. And I feel like you got everything you said you wanted with the pressure, right? Like it's a lot more pressure even after you run.
I hope that making yours.
I think it would do fine. I didn't charge my big mic, so we have a little tiny mic, and I think
you put it the furthest possible.
I think it'll do wonders.
You could have held it right here in the middle.
I could have, but now I feel like it's too late.
All equal audio.
Yes.
Some responsibility. You take some self-responsibility for this.
I didn't charge any of my equipment.
You need a better, like, I was telling her before, when come to summer, she need a better setup. I want my own chair. Like, why are we sit this close? I want my own chair. The camera needs to be set up on a tripod, some good lighting, and my own mic with the little mic thing. So I could be this close and I could hold it like this.
Look at your cat. She can't believe all the things you are requiring as a guest.
My own chair? Exactly. As a guest. You know, we could have had a setup. It could have been me sitting right here. You sit on this couch just a little bit closer. The little fireplace is the background. You could have had a little spiel. We should have been did this.
Listen, let me tell you.
Now, let me tell you.
We have goals for the new year, and that could be one of them. We're elevating. Moving up right now.
And it's crazy. And it's crazy, y'all, because last night she made a post talking about I'll be irritating her on Instagram. Or
She be on thin ice.
I'll be on thin ice. And then it was a picture of Olaf skating on the ice.
Because she really be testing me. She does. And let me tell you, in the new year, she got to do better. In the new year, she has to do better. She's going to do better. And so this is taking a left turn.
Why am I going to do better? Why are you about to make a resolution for me?
Because I think that's what we need to do. You mentally are going to not knock yourself down.
No.
Is that your goal for the new year?
I mean, that's been my goal since before the new year.
Okay. So how do you do that?
How do I do it?
Not knock yourself down. I'm hard on myself. But I have constantly, like the past couple years, been getting a little easier on myself because I know, one, I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. 2, I can't do everything. 3, I can't please everyone. And if I'm trying my best, then I need to reward myself for my best. And then do better next time. Because each time I work on myself, like I go up, I elevate a little bit more. So if I'm doing the same thing over and over and I'm not moving up, then we're not going to reward that. But if I'm like elevating, I'm doing my best, and now that I've done my best, I know I can do a little bit more. That can be rewarded each time. I'm not going to go from doing 0 push-ups. I keep saying push-up. 0 pull-ups to 10 pull-ups tomorrow. I have to elevate. It takes time to get there. So, but when I do my 2 pull-ups, I'm gonna reward myself. And then 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So I think that is like my strategy on life. I can't do everything at one time, and I cannot please everyone, but I'm not gonna beat myself down about it because then it takes me too long to get back up.
Mm.
So, what do you think, like, with graduation coming up? Like, I said, because it's like November, December, you're stressing out about applying for a job, and I'm saying, calm down. Got time. And you're like, I should apply for this. Then, like, the people are looking for someone to start in 2 weeks. She has to graduate. You got to go through your whole process. So, like, I think that your process of applying for jobs comes later, but I think you're so already pushing yourself in so many areas that you have to really take a look at it and do a breakdown, almost like the is it? What is it? The 12-week year when you're breaking down your week into quarters, breaking down your year into quarters. That way, this is the due date and work your way down. This is what I want to do by this date and work your way down. So when you really have to start preparing and pushing yourself and going hard in that area. So if you're graduating in May, you're in that quarter. So it's that first part, not apply for jobs, but have someone look over your resume, have someone look over your cover letter, start looking at like what's out there, but not necessarily applying, contacting people in the industry you're going in, stuff like that. And then for a track, you're like you're in that quarter right now. You're in that season of your life where practices are getting harder. The indoor season is the push for outdoor season. So your focus is primarily that, like heavily on track and not so much on getting your resume out.
Yeah.
But at one point it will be everything. Like in April, you have to get your resume out. In April, you have to compete. I don't think we think the same.
Because you just said a whole lot. My mind don't be going like that. I only be catching keywords. I was like, yeah, I heard some stuff about it. I get it.
So for me, I was saying she has to contact the photographer to get pictures done. And I wanted that done before the new year because the photographer said that she's going to go up on her prices. So she didn't contact the photographer. But she's thinking about her outfits that she's going to wear. And we don't have a photographer.
I didn't contact the photographer. Because I didn't know what to say. And I didn't know what dates I wanted to take pictures of. Because I got to plan, like, get my hair done and all that. And, like, if all doesn't fall into place, I'm going to be looking crazy.
Well, the first step is just looking at your track schedule and then contacting the photographer with open day. Most likely it'll be like a weekday. I'm excited for you for this season because it's probably going to be the most impactful season, the most that you have to balance. And I'll say this, and I think I said it like 3 times already, but I think it's good to remember there is no balance. Everyone says you have to balance. For you have to balance track and school and personal life, but there is no balance. You have to decide what you're going to say yes to, and because everything else is a no. So if you say yes, I'm going to, commit myself to running my hardest this track season, then we know you're going to be saying no to a lot of personal life things. You're like during breaks when people come home, you need to be practicing. You need to be like competing. So you're going to be saying no to coming home during breaks, like spring break. So I think something that you can remember. For me, it's helpful because someone will always want you to do something else, but you stand strong in what you already said yes to. For instance, I wasn't feeling good, so I said,
Please, please don't get started on this. Oh my gosh.
I said, I stand strong in there is no balance. I said yes to myself in taking a nap because I was not feeling well and I had to make sure that I was going to be ready for the rest of my day. Someone wanted me to take them somewhere and I said no, and then she was all upset and all rude. But I can't control how the other person acts, but I can stand firm in what I said yes to because everything else was a no for that time frame. And there is no balance. I can't like say, well, I can take a 10-minute nap and then uh, be sick and take you here. No, that doesn't work. That's a terrible balance because I'm going to still not be feeling well. I'm going to still not be able to take time out for myself. So the balance is I say yes to this time. Next time, because all doors are closed now. Next time when doors are open back up, I can say yes to you in that time frame, in that space because I'll be better. So for you, I think that it's important to remember like there is no balance. So if you say yes to going out, then you have to understand and take responsibility that maybe you should have been getting rest and you're not going to feel 100% at practice that next day or um, whatever happens for you going out. Like you said yes to this, so you stand firm and unmovable in your decision because I think sometimes people want us to say yes to them and what they want, but we've already said yes to something else and we can't do both. Um, so we can't take that pressure of feeling responsible for someone else or feeling sad because we weren't able to do it. Um, there's no balance. Say yes to this, and doors are closed to everything else, and I'm okay with that. So I think that that's something that you have to remember too. Like you can't please everyone. I may want you to come home for something. If you have to do something for track, then that's what you have to do. I have to be okay with that. Everyone else has to be okay with what you said yes to. And if they're not okay, then that's fine too. So we've done a lot of talking, about 30 minutes, and we've been all over the place. So let's end with this. Elevating is moving up as a person. Like we are taking steps into being a better person, whatever that looks like for you. So it can be anything. It can be mentally, it can be physically, it can be in school, out of school, track, family, personal life. Like what are for the overall for the new year? What
Oh, how am I gonna elevate? Well, first comes school. I plan on getting good grades. This is like the best grades I've gotten this semester since high school. So that's first thing. And then, well, this next semester I plan on doing good in school. Like this semester I plan on getting no C's again, and then graduating. And then with track, I plan on running my best I can do because this is my last year of track. So I feel like that's going to leave a lot of room for thought.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then that just leaves the summer. So I plan on just trying to find myself more because I won't have track to lean back on.
Mm-hmm.
I won't have that. Oh, I'm an athlete.
Yeah.
Like I feel like whenever people ask me about myself, I don't ever know what to say.
Yeah. Because you're like track has defined you for so long. I feel like.
Yeah. Sports have defined me for so long, even like high school. Like I always felt like I didn't have to do that good in school because of I had track. Like either way, I'm just gonna coast by on the line, ride the line, because either way I'm gonna get money for school, and that's what happened. Then I got away with it in college, just coasting by, and then I didn't end up getting the degree that I wanted. And now I have to figure out life without coasting by. That's what I plan on doing. In that, I plan on a lot of self care to help myself mentally through it. Saving, building a healthy environment around myself. Like I feel like I tend to get comfortable in environments that I feel like it's okay. Like it's okay. You have to stay here right now and just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And a little bit longer turns into a long time of mental suffering because of whatever reason.
Yeah. You have to listen to your body, and if your body is feeling uneasy, it's like why, and how can I get out of that?
Yeah. So this year plans on being personal. So a lot of self care, a lot of taking time for myself, which I feel like I did in the 2023 year, like the end of the year. I finally started self care and like figuring out my mental health. But this year's gonna be even tougher with school ending. Gotta find a job, a career, not just a job, a career. Gotta figure out stuff.
Yeah.
And be okay with even if I don't get a job.
Yeah. I mean, you have a big transition where you're closing one huge door and opening another, and I think that you need to be patient with yourself and with others, and just like you said, focus on you, what you really want, and anything that feels toxic, you don't have to stay in. You can separate yourself from those situations, and I think that's really important. Whatever. There's opportunities. Doors are about to open.
Doors are about to open.
Okay, so we know what Rainey wants to do, and we're gonna push her towards her goals for this year, and in her way of elevating. We want that for her. Me, I'm just gonna continue on this podcast. I hope that you enjoyed our conversation. This is like truly our conversation. I don't know. We just go back and forth and act up. So I hope you enjoyed it. A little piece of our family. And Rainy will be back because I have fun.